Gypsy says, happy birthday, Mia! Yay! And she made a tribute to her on TikTok and Instagram on the day that she gets off of parole, trying to prove us all wrong that she wasn't going to overshadow Mia's birthday. But there's a problem. According to People magazine, Mia's birthday isn't till tomorrow. Mia is the youngest of Rod's children, born on June 26th, 2001. It's right there. Okay, y'all, so we're just going to give her grace because clearly she's bad with dates. Remember when she posted a whole day early about the 10th anniversary of her mom being unalived by her? And when we all called her out on it because we all believed that her mama before Nick got there on the 10th, which would have made the 9th anniversary. She just got back on here and she posted a reclip that said, I wanted to post early. I wanted to post a day early. That's when I had time to post, blah, 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 blah. So that's it. Tomorrow's Mia's birthday, and Gypsy already knows she's not gonna have time because she's so busy and all, you know, taking care of the baby, taking care of Ken, being an influencer, putting extensions in her hair. She's just that busy. So she's probably not gonna have time to say happy birthday to Mia tomorrow. So she needed to post it early on the day that she gets off parole to make today about Mia. So we can't say that she's making tomorrow Mia's day about Gypsy. Who knows? Anyways, she got the date wrong. Happy birthday, Mia. And we'll tell you happy birthday again tomorrow because we care.
Oh. Babe, you won't believe this one. Gypsy Rose Blanchard just turned what should have been a low-key moment into a full-blown soap opera. And yes, it's giving drama, delusion, and a whole lot of look-at-me energy. So here's the scoop. The night before her parole ended, Gypsy decided to hop on TikTok Live, and instead of celebrating her next chapter, she hijacked the whole vibe to go on and on about one thing, a proposal from Ken. Mind you, not a soul asked. Not one follower, not one comment, nada. She brought it up completely unprovoked, like she was reading from a secret script that only she had access to. But the timing? Oh babe, that's where it gets juicy. This little live meltdown happened right before Mia's birthday. Yes, her sister's birthday. And somehow, Gypsy managed to center herself in the middle of it, spinning a whole narrative about how Ken definitely would not be proposing on that day. She repeated it over and over, like she was trying to tattoo it onto the internet's memory. But here's where it gets twisty. She acted like she knew exactly what wasn't going to happen, while claiming she had no clue what Ken's actual plan was. So, wait, how do you know it's not happening on that day if you're supposedly in the dark? The math is not mathing. And let's talk tone, because Gypsy didn't sound hopeful or dreamy. Nah. She sounded tight. Her voice had that sharp, clipped edge, like someone trying way too hard to keep control of the storyline.
Is Ken about to propose to Gypsy Rose? Now, if he does, it's going to be a complete shock.
Oh, on the show, I feel like I have to make this announcement because it's like, I feel like so many people are expecting it. I know on the show, Ken was looking at rings. Okay, whether he got a ring or not, I don't know. He hasn't told me that. But in the show, he said like, he would like propose once, like I get off parole. Well, tomorrow is my sister's birthday. So tomorrow, he is not proposing on my sister's birthday. I do know that. I do not know when or if he will, but he is not doing it tomorrow. Just to clarify. Honestly, I just like, I don't think that he will though. Like, I mean maybe like later on down the line or something, but all I'm saying is like, I'm not expecting it right now. So, and it's not because things are like bad or anything. Things are great, but I think like, maybe I'm just at a point where I'm like, it's been this long. I don't know, but I do know that it won't be tomorrow. So if he has plans next week, next month, I'm going to be totally caught off guard because I'm not expecting it at all. So just wanted to make that PSA announcement. He's not proposing tomorrow. Anyone else want to add anything?
I'm so confused because weren't they just ring shopping? And GRB put a picture of it on her Instagram. Ken's mom even confirmed there's no plan for marriage. In fact, she said something interesting. She said they are dating. It's a good thing she said that if Ken is going to propose, like he's supposed to when she's off of parole, he better not do it on Mia's birthday. Would they get engaged? I think they may. And I think it may not be for the reasons y'all think. I think it would 100% be for publicity. And it would definitely be planned out. She would know about it because it would be a big to-do. The story would be given to TMZ and people. She did mention Mia's birthday and Ken not proposing on Mia's birthday. But wouldn't that stir up a lot of conversation? Surely they wouldn't do that for any type of publicity.
It was less as girly excitement and more PR damage control. If you ask me, it felt like she was talking to Ken, not her followers. Like she was setting the stage, giving him public instructions while pretending it was all casual. Then, out of nowhere, she dragged in that Lifetime episode. You know, the one where Ken was seen at the engagement ring store. Suddenly, that scene becomes her proof, like a breadcrumb trail for her fantasy proposal. But the moment she brings it up, she backtracks again. I don't even know if he bought the ring, she says, like she's trying to keep expectations low after building them all the way up. It's a whole push-pull game, and babe, it's exhausting just watching it unfold. And don't worry, she didn't stop there. Gypsy tossed in a handful of contradictions for good measure. It's not that anything's wrong between us, she says, right before admitting she's frustrated it hasn't happened yet. So it's not an issue, but also kind of is? Classic Gypsy logic. It's the verbal equivalent of shrugging while screaming. Then came the cherry on top. Whenever he proposes, I'll be totally surprised, just not on Mia's birthday. Girl. That's not how surprises work. If you're already ruling out a day, then you're clearly in on something, or trying hard to control how it plays out. Either way, it's giving, I wrote the ending, I just need Ken to act it out. So instead of letting Mia have her moment, Gypsy basically turned her sister's birthday into a backdrop for her own love life drama. What could have been a sweet family celebration got overshadowed by this messy, me-centered live, complete with emotional whiplash and low-key manipulation. And let's not forget, this wasn't an audience Q&A. The chat wasn't filled with "OMG, is Ken proposing?" comments. No one was poking or prying. This was 100% Gypsy steering the conversation there, on purpose, for attention. And like clockwork, she tried to soften the blow with a little, I just want to clarify things for the public. Babe, clarify what? You're the one who brought it up. The whole situation with Gypsy Rose had people scratching their heads, not because of what she said exactly, but because of how she said it. It was like watching someone perform a scene they had rehearsed in their head a dozen times. The second she hit live on TikTok, the vibe wasn't casual or spontaneous, it was crafted, deliberate, and oh so aware. This wasn't some innocent moment of reflection before her parole ended. No, this was Gypsy quietly orchestrating a spectacle. You could practically see the fantasy forming behind her eyes, new chapter unlocked, parole-free and engaged to my soulmate. The timing? Suspiciously cinematic. And just when you thought she was done, she kept circling back, again and again, to the same oddly specific point, that Ken definitely wouldn't be proposing on Mia's birthday. She repeated it so often and with such certainty, it started to sound like a scripted line. But that's where things got weird. No one had even brought it up. The chat wasn't buzzing about rings or proposals. This wasn't a trending topic, it was her topic. She planted it there, then watered it obsessively like she was willing it into becoming the main event. But here's the kicker, it wasn't loud, it wasn't over the top. It was subtle. Strategic. Like a magician redirecting your attention while pulling off a trick. What looked like a simple just saying moment was actually her way of quietly hijacking the narrative. And while she kept insisting that nothing was happening, the constant reminders gave it all away. She didn't want Mia's birthday to stand alone. She needed her own storyline running in parallel, even if it was just speculative. So while everyone should have been focused on celebrating Mia, her birthday, her joy, her time, Gypsy slipped in and flipped the script. The vibe shifted from "Happy birthday, Mia" to "So, when is Ken proposing?" It was subtle, but calculated. Mia's big day turned into background noise to Gypsy's ongoing plot twist. Let's be real, this had nothing to do with love or a surprise ring. It had everything to do with control. With being the center of attention. With making sure she was the main character, even on someone else's special day.
How many people think, now that Gypsy Rose's parole is up, how many think that she's going to officially move in with Ken and going to portray that she's living this wonderful, fabulous life, and he's going to go along with it just to keep the money up and keep the money going? They're going to, get married or whatever just to keep the money going? Or who thinks that he thinks, okay, I went so far to where I don't really have to have her anymore, and he's kind of like Ryan, and he kind of does his own thing and has people follow him just to see the drama that goes on with him if they're not together? Because if they weren't together, people would still probably follow him and want to see what's going on, so they would probably follow him. He'd probably make his own money. But I'm thinking that this is going to be like the demise of them. I don't think they're going to try to put on a facade for a while, but it's not going to last. I feel like he's going to get so tired of her that he's going to be like, I can't handle this, and screw the money, screw the fame, screw all this stuff, I can't handle her, I'll just have to co-parent. And then I feel like that he won't even co-parent. I feel like he will go for like full custody and like primary custody and give.
Her so-called clarifications weren't about setting the record straight. They were about shifting the focus, bending the storyline, and making sure that even when the spotlight wasn't meant for her, she still got to bask in it. And the energy? Oh, it was dripping with quiet competitiveness. There was this unspoken tension in the way she kept doubling back to the subject, like she couldn't stand the idea of not being the most talked about person in the room. Her jealousy wasn't loud, but it was visible. She wasn't just trying to insert herself, she was trying to overshadow Mia without actually saying it out loud. Gypsy doesn't just like being watched, she needs to be. She feeds off attention like it's oxygen, and the second someone else becomes the focus, you can bet she'll find a way to stir something up. That's exactly what she did here. No one asked about an engagement. No one needed a proposal plot twist. But she gave it to us anyway, because if the spotlight's not on her naturally, she'll create a scene big enough to pull it right back. Instead of giving Mia the moment she deserved, Gypsy did what she does best, took the whole thing and spun it into her own personal soap opera. 1 second, it's Mia's birthday, and the next? We're knee-deep in Gypsy's proposal drama, wondering if Ken's about to drop to one knee. Like clockwork, she redirected the entire vibe of the day with the finesse of someone who's been rehearsing in the mirror. And the worst part? She masked it all under this sweet, selfless, just being honest act. Please. That wasn't sincerity, it was strategy. Everything about it felt like a performance. Gypsy knows how to shift the attention like it's muscle memory at this point. It doesn't matter if it's your birthday, your engagement, or your dog's graduation, if Gypsy's in the room, she's finding a way to spin the spotlight onto herself. And this wasn't just a slip of the tongue. This was a full-blown redirect. Mia's birthday suddenly felt like a supporting scene in Gypsy's next big TikTok arc. And let's be honest, does this whole proposal even seem legit? Because from the outside, it reeks of pressure. The kind where Ken's probably just trying to keep the peace. Like, here's a ring, now please stop turning everything into content. It doesn't scream romance, it screams PR damage control. That ring isn't about love, it's about views, clicks, and making sure the algorithm keeps spinning. Who needs a wedding when you've got a viral moment? Zoom out and the whole situation starts to look staged. Scripted, even. The kind of storyline where the plot twist is less about feelings and more about engagement numbers, and not the kind that ends in a wedding. And that low-key tension with Mia? Oh, it's not low-key anymore. It's full-blown, bubbling up and spilling over in every carefully worded sentence. You can practically feel the competitive edge. Gypsy doesn't just thrive in the chaos, she manufactures it. Whether it's stirring the pot on TikTok, dropping vague updates, or side-eyeing her own sister's big day, she keeps the mess going like it's a job. And honestly, it kind of is. She doesn't just crave attention, she feeds off it. Without it, she starts to fade. And that's the one thing Gypsy can't afford. Meanwhile, poor Mia just wanted a quiet birthday, but of course, that wasn't allowed. Not with Gypsy in the picture. The celebration was hijacked, turned into yet another high-drama moment in Gypsy's ongoing saga. It's exhausting. Not just for Mia, but for everyone watching. So, yeah, whether Ken actually pops the question or not feels beside the point now. The real story was never the ring, it was how fast Gypsy could twist someone else's moment into her own. Calculated. Planned. Packaged like a heartfelt confession, but dripping with manipulation. Because with Gypsy, every TikTok, every comment, every live stream, it's all part of the same script. And somehow, even when we know what's coming, she still manages to make it messier than expected. And that's the tea for today, y'all. Gypsy didn't just make waves, she flipped the whole pool trying to turn Mia's birthday into her own engagement teaser. Whether Ken proposes or not almost doesn't matter anymore, because the real spotlight was never meant for him or Mia. It was always about Gypsy, and she made sure of it. But now I want to hear from you. Was Gypsy really just being honest, or was this all a calculated play to steal the moment and push her own agenda? Do you think Ken's even on board, or is he just along for the clout ride? Drop your thoughts in the comments, don't forget to like if you love messy drama, and hit that subscribe button because babe, you already know, with Gypsy, this is far from over. New teas always brewing. See you in the next one.